Yes, we're back. Roshfooco watches and things, and today is going to be the first of 3 videos covering the Seiko diver lineage in the kind of 80s up into the 90s pre-SKX. The watches you've seen before, if you've checked the back catalogue, some of the watches in the video about what happens if all the SKXs go. Instead of looking forward, perhaps we could look back. So this is the first one of the 3, and before I start, and I'll say this in all of the videos, I'm not an expert on these watches. If you want a much more in-depth and thorough going over of the different references that you'll see in the 3 videos, I suggest going over to Spencer Klein's channel on YouTube. If you haven't seen Spencer's work, he has got the knowledge for all of these things, as well as being a very sought after watch repairer for vintage Seiko as well, amongst others. Anyway, let's get into it. This is the Seiko 7548 7000. As far as I'm aware, this is a JDM Seiko dive watch, adapted from the older 6309 range. I think they were in production from the late 70s onwards. This one is a May of 1983 edition. If it looks familiar, then of course, I mean this case shape goes all the way through to the modern day Seiko 5 Sports via the 7002 and the SKX line as well. It's 42 mil in diameter. It's just over 46 lug end to lug end, and it's just a touch over 13 thick with a 22 mil lug opening. Pretty much indistinguishable as far as the painted on markers, handset from the SKX 007, although you will see that this one was 150 meters water resist back in the day, and of course it's quartz as well. Those that know say that this is a fantastic quartz movement in here. Of course, this is early 80s when quartz was the new fangled, desired technology in wristwatches. So whereas some of the automatics were getting less money put into them, the quartz watches were getting probably the cream of the engineering and the focus from the company. So this one has got, and again check Spencer Klein's videos, a really over-engineered fantastic quartz movement in here with almost entirely metal components. I think there is a plastic wheel as part of the date change, I think, I'm not sure. This case will also be seen in what are called the slim turtles, which are 6309 7000 variants, I believe. This one's got a bi-directional bezel, although this is a bit stiff. It's got a day-date function, along with a kind of cleaning and a service needed for the bezel. The date change on this one is not working very well either. but it's just a beautiful watch. And you can see how Seiko have taken this design and run with it over the preceding best part of 40 years. Lots of different models. They obviously found the K shape and thought that's a winner, with only slight changes over the decades. This one is pretty much still in production, the K shape. That's 7000 K shape. It's a great watch. I'll just put it on to get a reference. There it is on my 7-inch wrist, those classic, what we've come to know as SKX dimensions, pretty much. Fairly thick, but with the heavy duty gaskets, case back. That's to be expected with a what was a legit dive watch when it came out in the early 80s. It's got a great fit. It's the Seiko 7548-7000. Just a note, if I can focus in on it. You see that funny symbol underneath the 150 meters? As far as I'm aware, that's what distinguishes it as something coming out of the Seikosha Suwa factory. Seiko split into two factions really in 1959, the Daini and the Suwa factories. This one, according to that mark there, is from the Suwa factory. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but it's interesting to know that Seiko, you know, as a bigger organisation with their subsidiaries kind of working independently, they've been doing it for a long time. Anyway, this is Roshfooco Watches and Things with a 7548-7000 Seiko diver, and we're out.